We are live again. Actually, not live. This is recording, but we are here, and we are going to do the Super Bowl picks for tomorrow between Seattle and the New England Patriots, and we're going to go over a couple of seconds of the Celtics trade deadline edition with Nikola Vucevic. Hope I said that correctly. So let's get right into it. We'll be coming on a little bit later in the morning with the true crime stuff. Um, Hold on a second. Let me play my intro, and I'll be right back, and we'll go through um, how we got here, and do a little bit of a breakdown of how I think tomorrow is going to happen. So let's hold on one second. Let me play my intro, and I'll be right back. Okay, so by the way, welcome to uh, PGR Davis Sports, and I'm going to hopefully change that in the YouTube side. But right now we got. All right, so let's calm this down here a little bit, and we're going to go through how we got here. I hope everybody's having a good week. Let's see here. Let me share this video here. So basically, this is how we got here. And if you guys can't see this at home here, let's see, fix this. Okay, I don't know what the hell's going on here. All right, let me shrink myself up here. Oh, all right, very good. All right, so if you guys can't see this, just you should be able to expand this here on your end here. But this is how we got here. These are the I technically went 8-4 from the wild card games all the way up to the championship games 2 weeks ago. These were the wild card games. The Texans beat the Steelers, won that one there. Bills beat the Jaguars. I'm pretty sure I lost that one there. And I think that's where I just screwed up. So I think I went, anyways, 7-5, I think. So the Patriots beat the Chargers. And that's how we ended up the AFC going on to the divisional round. And then in a wild card on the NFC side, the Rams beat the Panthers, the 49ers beat the Eagles. That was a fairly close game. The Bears beat the Packers. Then going on into the divisional rounds here, the Patriots beat, I'm sorry, the Broncos beat the Bills. That was another close game there. That game could have gone either way. That was a pivotal game, though, because at the end of the game, the Broncos quarterback got injured and did not play in a championship game. So that game, the Broncos actually won that football game, but they might have lost probably the key component in their trip to the Super Bowl. But that's regardless. And then the Patriots beat the Texans, of course. I was right in that game. I think I actually took the Bills in this game. Not sure. Anyways, I think I went like 7-5. Yeah, that I think I went 7-5. All right. So, anyways, so that was the divisional round there. And over in the NFC, the divisional round, the Seahawks blew out the 49ers. The 49ers, just way too many injuries on that side. I didn't think the 49ers had a chance this year, anyways. But that was probably the only blowout other than the Texans my game. But anyways, that's for another day. Um, and then the Rams, of course, beat the Bears. That was another close game there. So then we went to the AFC NFC Championship games 2 weeks ago. The Patriots beat the Broncos in a tight game there. Um, that's pretty impressive for the Patriots to go to the Broncos, go to Denver and beat Denver in Denver. I don't care when it is and who they're playing and how they're playing. That's a pretty impressive win to me because they don't always do that. That's something that they don't normally do. The Denver's a tough place to play, put it that way, especially in the playoffs. And then, of course, the Rams lost to the Seahawks, and that's how we got here to the Super Bowl game. I believe this is Super Bowl 60. We play tomorrow at 6:30. Of course, it probably won't start at 6:30, but that's when they're saying it's going to be on NBC Peacock. And the Seattle Seahawks right now are favored by 4.5. So that's the spread basically, and I think that's down. Not sure. That's up from original, but anyways, so that's the matchup tomorrow: New England and Seattle. So let's get out of here. And we're going to go to the standings, how they finished in the regular season, which really doesn't mean a whole bunch right now because of the, at this time of the year here, Super Bowl here. I don't think anybody's going to be surprising anybody. But the Patriots were 14-3. They basically were the second seed in the AFC. They had a winning percentage of 824. Edged out the Buffalo Bills by 2 games. And the differential points allowed, they're pretty good defensively, pretty good offensively. The differential of 170. And they had 3-game winning streak going into the playoffs. We go down to Seattle. Seattle just crushed it this year. Same record, 14-3, same winning percentage. 6-2 at home, 8-1 away. All of the stuff we went over last week. They're a little bit better defensively. I mean, this is a much tougher division here than this division here, but not by much. I mean, it's not like people say it is. Like the Bills are a pretty formidable team, and so aren't the Rams. If you look at the divisions, together here, let's look at New England's home and away record. They were 6-3 at home, so they lost more games at home actually than they won on the road. I mean, they lost more games at home than they did on the road, that's how you can tell a good team. A good team will pretty much beat anybody anywhere at any time. If you look at the rest of the division, Buffalo lost to Miami in Miami, which is, that just doesn't happen. So the Patriots away record is actually better than their home record. And a lot of the Patriot losses came early. And then the Seahawks, they were 8-1 away, and then 6-2 at home. So there's some pretty good records here. Of course, Seattle was the number 1 seed in the NFC. And but if you look, like I was saying, if you look at the, I know a lot of people have been saying the Patriots have an easy schedule. It's unfair. It's just complainers, whiners, and excuse makers. That's basically what that is, because you got to play the games that you play. I mean, they can't change the schedule in the beginning and middle and end of the season just because your team sucks. If you got to beat the teams that are on your schedule. If you can't beat the teams that are on your schedule, then that's what it is. I mean, I think that gets overplayed sometimes. There's a reason why the Patriots are constantly beating up on the AFC East opponents, because they're just better. I mean, they're just. So I think that's good teams beat good teams no matter where they play, no matter who they are, and good teams beat bad teams because the good teams are good and the bad teams are bad. It's just the way it goes. It's just the way it works. So I don't. especially when you get to the Super Bowl. I mean, New England played some pretty good teams in the playoffs too. They played two of the top defenses in the league in the playoffs, Denver and Houston. So, I mean, Seattle played a hobbled San Francisco team, um, and they played the divisional rival, the Rams, and I mean, they almost lost to them. So it's basically the same thing. It doesn't matter who you play. It's especially this time of the year. It's the Super Bowl. All right, so let's so the schedules are pretty similar. I mean, they're pretty um as far as I'm concerned, they're head-to-head matchup. They're pretty even. Um, Defensively, I think the Seattle Seahawks might have a little bit of an edge. I don't know how much of an edge that is. Offensively, I think the Patriots run the ball a little bit better, but we'll see. Without breaking down too many different. Let's go here. Out of that here. Stats. Let's do stats. Uh, 1 second here. See if I can get to win rates, weekly leaders, season leaders. So here's Ramondre Stevenson here, 190 yards. Matthew Stafford, there's Josh Allen, Drake May, passing 936 yards, Drake May 533. So if you get into the numbers a little bit, you can start seeing where these players were as far as their individual stats and team stats. Um, so let's go here to NFL team total offense postseason stats. Um, so these are the stats postseason here, and you're going to see the Chicago Bears with yards, um, yards, uh, yards here, yards from scrimmage. I think that is yards. See a lot of these stats and numbers. Los Angeles had more. The Rams had more yards than anybody else technically, so they're probably the better of the offenses. There's Seattle right there. The games played. Um, of course, the Rams played another game more than Seattle did, so that's probably why they have a little bit more yards there. But anyways, these are the team stats here. You're going to see the Patriots down here, 835 total yards. Um, and then 200. I think that's yards per game. But I could be wrong. And then there's the passing yards, 443. Rushing yards, 392, as opposed to Seattle, who's 427 yards, 213. Where did I just see that? Rush. Okay, so rush passing here. Seattle passing yards 427 yards per game. That's 213. The rushing yards 250. So if you take the two teams rushing the ball, the Patriots have a little bit of an edge here, 392 to 250. But the Patriots have played an extra game here. So 147, 130. So you can go through all the numbers if you want, but I'm basically just gonna 125 yards. So there's a little bit more rushing with the Patriots. Passing, we got Seattle here, 213, and the Patriots. So passing, depending on how you want to look at that, that's a little bit of an edge through the air with Seattle and a little bit more of an edge on the ground for the Patriots. So let's back here. I'm going to do one more thing. Defensively, okay, so this is the defense here. The Patriots are right up there. Games played 3 yards. They've given up 629 yards. It's an average of 209 yards a game. Passing, they've given up 415 yards. So that's 138 yards a game. That's how you get to this here, I think, and the rushing 214. So they've given up, and there's your points there. Um, and here's Seattle here. They played 2 games. Total yards they've given up is 715 yards per game, 357 yards, 493. So they've given up more passing yards than the Patriots here. Um, and they've given up more rushing yards here, 111 yards per game, where the Patriots are pretty good on the run here. Um, this is the biggest number here, in my opinion, is this the rushing defense for the Patriots. Uh, that's a huge number, in my opinion. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to have the same success against Seattle, but there's a lot in this number here, the 71.3 yards per game, as opposed to the 111 yards from the Seahawks. And then there's the point differentials here. The Seahawks have given up more points than the Patriots. Points 8.7 per game for the Pats, and the Seahawks are almost double at 16.5. So it's telling me the better defense going into this game is the New England Patriots. Right there, just telling me that. By numbers alone, it's telling me that the Patriots have a little bit better defense. Offense, you got a slight edge to Seattle, and that could play. That could play a lot into it. But if you were to ask me as far as the number to look for is the defensive numbers. The Patriots have come out of nowhere this year with their defense. Their defense this year is light speeds ahead of where they were last year, in my opinion. They're stopping the run at a much better clip because they were terrible last year and the year before that. This year here, they've seemed to close up a little bit. I think you can still beat the Patriots if you run the ball at them, but I don't think the Seahawks are going to do that. They might. If they're smart, they will. Let's go to special teams because special teams is one of those 3 phases of the game that people always forget about. But field position is a huge thing. Punts, where the punts end, where the team gets the ball, kickoff returns, field goals, turnovers on punts, turnovers on field goals, turnovers on all of that stuff plays a huge thing into these games. Field position is everything these days. Right off the bat, you start at the 35-yard line if you do everything right. If you do everything wrong, you start on a 20 or whatever. So field position is going to be key in this football game, especially for the Patriots, because I think the Patriots are going to come out. They're going to want to run the football. They're going to want to run at, if they're smart anyways, they're going to want to run at Seattle and soften that defense up for the later parts of the game. But here we go with the special teams here. 3 attempts, 147 yards. This is all basically long 95, 1 touchdown. So they've had 1 kickoff return. I think that's what that means. 0 attempts, 0. So they're these numbers here you can get into yourself. Patriots 3 games played, 8 attempts, 196 yards, average 24, and then the Seahawks 49. That's on the kickoffs. The Patriots 30, no touchdowns, 7 attempts, 57 yards. So the slight advantage in the kicking game is going to the Seahawks. But whoever wins this battle here, too, in my opinion, field position is going to be a huge thing. Uh, just the way it is. Okay, so turnovers here. Who's winning the turnover battle? They're not doing good. Seattle Seahawks are not doing all that great. Both teams are fumbling the ball at random. It's weird how these teams are still in the playoffs and they've fumbled. I mean, they have 5 interceptions for the. Hold on. The New England Patriots got 5 interceptions, 3 turnovers. These are the takeaways. So they've taken the ball on interceptions 5 times. 4 of those, I think, came from the Stroud game, and then 3 fumble takeaways. So they've taken away 3 times, 5 times here by interception. This is the difference here. Total 8 takeaways in 3 games. You're not going outside, so lie down. Uh, Giveaways, interceptions, they've thrown 2 interceptions, fumbled 3 times. That's a high number right there. That's terrible. And total of 5 giveaways. So they've given the ball away 5 times, 2 to interception, 3 to fumbles. And I guarantee you right now, if Stevenson comes out and starts fumbling the football like he's capable of, he'll get a quick hook from Mike Vrabel. And this is one of the areas where if the Seahawks were doing good scouting on the Patriots here, they'd be trying to do in this game, and that's take the ball away from this guy here. I don't know who's fumbled so many times, but my opinion is, I mean, without looking, I'm assuming that that's Ramondre Stevenson because he's had fumble issues before. Seahawks are doing a much better job, differential 0.4. 1 interceptions. They've taken the ball away 1 by interception, 3 fumbles, 4 here. And they've given up the ball never. No interceptions, no fumbles. This is a huge number here to get here. This is kind of where you want to be. You can't get a record better than this here to get to the Super Bowl. Usually teams don't give the ball away much. However, I think that if New England can get after Seattle here, if New England does what I think they're going to do, they're going to try to force Seattle into throwing the ball all over the place. And if they can do that, I have zero faith in Darnold at all. So this may be another key here. All right. So let's do the predictions here. The beginning of after the championship games, I had the Patriots winning 31-21, but I've backed off a little bit of that now. I'm taking the Patriots 31-24. One of the reasons why I'm taking the Patriots, because the Patriots are really good in the Super Bowl. I mean, they didn't. I hate the Patriots too. I can't stand the Patriots, but I respect them quite a bit. They, they have 6 Super Bowls. They've done a tremendous job. They're probably the best organization in all of football. Robert Kraft is by far the best owner. They're doing things that we used to do back in the 70s and 80s. They're just a class organization. Robert Kraft is the greatest owner in the NFL. He does what he's supposed to do. He owns the world, literally, money-wise, and he delegates the authority to people who can get the job done. And Mike Vrabel is that guy that can get the job done. The Patriots are huge underdogs in this game, and I think that's going to carry them into the Super Bowl. They've been hearing it from all of the so-called professional people here, and this game reminds me a lot of the Greatest Show on Turf year where the Patriots went up against so-called Greatest Show on Turf. Everybody and anybody picked, you're not going outside, go lie down. The Rams to win that game, and I think that was the first Super Bowl. Was that the first Patriots Super Bowl or whatever? But everybody picked the Rams, and I was the famous game where John Madden said something like, just run the ball, and New England just took it to the Rams at the end of that game and just won the game. I mean, this is very similar. Everybody's taken Seattle. Everybody thinks Seattle's going to blow this team out. Don't ever underestimate the power of the New England Patriots. Man, I've picked against them way too many times in the past, and I got them winning 31-24. I think that Seattle's defense will keep it from being a blowout. But that's my numbers. That's what I got. I got New England taking this one 31-24. And hopefully I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. But that's the way I see this being going. All right, so let's go. Let's go here to the NFL, the NBA here, because I do want to cover. So my 4 favorite teams of the major sports. I have the Steelers, of course, my favorite football team. They're my life, literally. And then it's the basketball team. We got the Celtics are right up there, the second. And then, of course, the Montreal Canadiens and then the New York Yankees. Not so much in that order after the Celtics, but In fact, right now I can't stand the Yankees. They're just I don't know how Aaron Boone has a job. It's just this guy's just horrible. He's a horrible manager. He shouldn't be managing an organization like the Yankees, but I can't do anything about it. All right, let's go to the Boston Celtics. They've done some changes here. They had a great night last night. They pulled out a win against Miami, 98-96. But what I want to get to is the deadline stuff here. So they made a few moves here at the deadline. I knew they were going to get rid of Anthony Simons. That was a done deal when they got him here. They traded, I think it was Porzingis to get. They've been trying to get underneath this apron for the longest time to get underneath that luxury tax here, and they finally were able to do it by getting rid of Anthony Simons. Anthony Simons is a great basketball player. It's just they could not keep him. They just can't do it. There's just no way they're going to keep him at that money. They needed to get underneath that apron, and they needed to do that quickly. So they did that. This team's going to miss him, but they have enough scoring. I think the Celtics have enough scoring. I mean, you can never have enough scoring, but these days here with the way the caps are, you just can't do that. And when Tatum comes back, he's going to probably take up the slack of that scoring thing. But they needed to get a center. They needed to get somebody. I was a little bit. I don't say I was a little bit upset that they got Vucevic, but he'll do. He's fine. I don't know if he's going to play after this year, but they got him, in my opinion, to just basically add a little bit more physicality to this team because they need that. But they also traded Xavier Tillman Sr. to the Charlotte Hornets. Sources tell ESPN this gets the Celtics out of the luxury tax. And they had made another trade before that. I think it was what's his name? Let's see here. Chris Boucher, they traded to the Jazz, and Josh Minott. That's what I was talking about. Josh Minott. They traded him to the Brooklyn Nets. He did okay for us at the beginning of the year, but somehow he ended up at the bench in the nowhere file of Joe Mazzulla, and then he was quickly dealt at the deadline. So all of these other trades they did to get under that apron, and that's a huge thing. Apparently, I know a lot of people wanted them to keep Anthony Simons, and I was a big fan of Anthony Simons, but he had great basketball player, great guys, great shooter, played much better defense here than I think people gave him credit for. But it just wasn't in the cards. It wasn't going to work. So I think Vucevic will do fine in there. They got another center here that they can bring off the bench, or they can go double big, or they can just play small ball. They got a guy to plug in the middle. And you can, in my opinion, you can never have enough centers. And they also, I think they also signed, what's his name? The other center there from a 2-way to a 2-year deal. Let's see here. The kid that they had stashed in Maine, who came off the bench and had a really good night the other night. A second here, roster. I can get it from the roster here. Okay, so this is their roster right now. They got Jaylen Brown, they got Luka Garza. I believe this is after the deadline yesterday. They got Ron Harper Jr., who's going to probably get signed here pretty soon from a 2-way. They got Hugo Gonzalez that stayed, and these are all their positions here. Nemus Cater, Baylor Sherman, Peyton Pritchard, of course, coming off the bench. Max Shulga, I don't know who the hell that is. Jason Tatum, John Tonje, and Amari Williams. That's the guy there. Amari Williams. He was signed as he was a 2-way player, a 2-way deal, and then he got signed.
30 38 seconds to go. We're on the 1 yard line. 4th down. We call timeout.
Yeah. All right. 2-year. I forget the deal here. 2-year. I could probably get that from. Why did that just do that? Forward. Okay. I don't know why. Six 11, 250 pounds, 250 pounds. He's out of Kentucky. He was a second round pick, number 46 overall. And these is his numbers here. He's been all over the place, but they've putting a lot of faith in this guy here, and I think they're doing the right job. I think Amari Williams will be probably not this year here, but next year here you might start seeing him a little bit more. He's a pretty good player. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they signed him. The Celtics do a lot of that stuff. They try to keep a lot of this stuff in house, but we'll see. But I just wanted to go over the deadline stuff that the Celtics did. I think they did a pretty good job. They're not going to win the championship this year, that's for sure. But they'll get deep into the playoffs. They'll get to maybe where the Detroit Pistons are, maybe, or maybe before that. But I don't think what's their record now? I don't think anybody expected them to be this good this year. I mean, me included. I had them almost being down here at number 6 or 7, but they're all the way up here, tied for second, I think, with the Knicks here. But they're 34-18. They're just incredible. They just blew out Houston the other night for no apparent reason. Yeah, they're doing well. They're doing very good. So that's the good news. But I just wanted to go over that. I got the Patriots 31-24. And I think they're going to win it all. And I hope they don't. Trust me, I hope they don't. I don't want them to get 7. But I respect them. They're a good organization right now. They're doing a lot of the stuff that we used to do. They're just doing it better. Right now, we're as far as the Steelers, we're just a terrible freaking organization. I have no idea what's going on. Hopefully, this guy here, Mike McCarthy, can at least get our running game and offensive lines in sync here, because I've been watching my team for a long time, and I don't like to say bad things about them. But this is the worst offensive line performance of any team I've seen in my days watching the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's just absolutely horrible. I don't know how anybody can. I mean, if you watch that Houston game a few weeks ago, you'll see what I'm talking about. They're just absolutely dreadfully awful. And it's becoming a huge problem. And I know Mike McCarthy is probably not the greatest coach in the world, but he will probably at least concentrate on getting this offensive line to at least respectability, because right now we're just awful. It's just terrible. It's sad. It's awful. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here. That's for another day. I'll be coming on next week to go over the Super Bowl, what happened at the Super Bowl tomorrow. But also tonight I'm going on at about 1:10 in the morning on Owl on the Prowl to get the true crime stuff going tonight on the live. But anyways, I'll see you guys later. Please like and subscribe if you can. You don't have to. But for now, enjoy the Super Bowl tomorrow. Everybody stay safe. I'm going to play my outro and I will get out of here. Good luck to both teams that are playing tomorrow. I hope I'm wrong.